and welcome to Still Buffering, a sister's guide to teens through the ages. I am Riley Smurl.
I'm Sydney McElroy.
And I'm Taylor Smurl.
All right, sisters. Before we get started this week talking about anything, Riley, I need you to explain something to me.
Yes.
What's going on with Taylor Swift and Kanye and Kim Kardashian? Because I don't know, but I keep seeing tweets that I cannot decipher about a phone call that somebody did or didn't get, and then somebody called somebody the B word, and I am unclear.
Okay. So Kanye West just came out with his new song. I think it's called Famous.
Okay.
And in it, there's a line about Taylor Swift.
Oh.
And apparently there are two lines about Taylor Swift. They're right next to each other. And that's where the B word comes in. Is one of the lines is, I made that B word famous. And apparently the line before that has her name in it. And is about her and him doing something else. And she knew about that one. But then she didn't know about the one where he called her the B word and said that he made her famous. And then she said the song was very misogynistic and she had no idea that she was in it and she had never heard it before. But then I guess Kanye recorded his and Taylor Swift's phone call that was him explaining the first lyric to her, not the one about him calling her a B word, the other one that also is inappropriate. And she said it was kind of a compliment, actually. But she didn't know about the one where he called her the B word.
Okay.
But she knew about the other one and said that she would tell people that she knew about it so people would listen to it and be like, oh my God, so they're feuding because he just called her this in his song. But then she would be like, no, I knew about it. It's okay. We talked about it. So Kim Kardashian put out that phone call on her Snapchat that was recorded by Kanye. And so Taylor said she knew about the first line, but she didn't know about the second one. And in the phone call, he never told her about the second one, but he told her about the first one that she had called misogynistic, but then in the phone call, she called it a compliment.
Okay. How is this not all that the news outlets are reporting on?
Well, actually, I think there might be some other more important things going on.
There's nothing else going on in the world but this, right?
I think there might be a few things going on other than Taylor and Kanye and Kim.
That's the most complicated story.
Well, I think that then there's like a part two, because I'm sorry, I got pulled in. Facebook tells you the most popular stories, and this was clearly it. But then like Khloe, that's a Kardashian? Mm-hmm. Khloe?
Yeah.
That's one? Like, and then there's also that Khloe girl Moritz.
Khloe Moritz, yeah.
Yeah, so
this story involves two separate Khloe?
Two Khloes. And I don't know if the Khloe in the Kardashian family felt the need to call out the other Khloe on behalf of all Khloes, or if maybe that's how Khloe Moritz got involved. I'm not really sure, but there are dual Khloes. Like, the Khloe Moritz tweeted something like in defense of Taylor Swift, and then Khloe Kardashian tweeted out like a fake image showing Khloe Moritz exposed. It wasn't her, but yeah. And so that's
now is Khloe Moritz
new developments?
Is in the non-Kardashian Khloe?
Right.
Is she part of Taylor Swift's squad?
No, I don't think so. But
because that seems like a thing a squad would do, right?
Maybe she's trying to get into the squad.
Oh, maybe that's it. She wants to be in on those hashtag squad goals.
Yeah, I'm reading about it right now, actually. I guess Khloe Kardashian was mad because other Khloe tweeted about the drama that was happening between Taylor and Kim and Kanye and said everyone in this industry needs to get their heads out of a hole and look around to realize what's actually happening in the real world. Stop wasting your voice on something so petulant and unimportant. And then Khloe tweeted this picture that said, "Is this the hole you're referring to?" And it was a picture of her butt, but it's not her.
Which is a pretty sick burn, I guess.
Like, none of these people have any sort of like social media control on them. I mean, they're celebrities. They're like babby people. Why isn't there someone going, no, bad.
Stop.
Just batting their hand away from the keyboard. No.
Do any of them vote? Are they paying attention?
I'm afraid. Do any of them drive? Because that scares me.
I don't. So, and these are adults, right?
Yes.
Technically.
Yeah.
Technically grown-ups.
Yeah. Yeah, and apparently other Chloe came back and was like, the first photo of me in a red bikini top was from me filming my new movie Neighbors 2, and the second picture of some girl wearing a red bikini top and red bikini bottoms is some girl who was wrongfully photographed, and then she showed a picture of her from her movie wearing that same top, but she was wearing blue bikini bottoms.
Oh my
So
goodness.
it obviously wasn't her in the picture.
It was doctors.
Oh, and wait, this keeps going. Because then Ruby Rose got involved. I was like, no,
Who?
Chloe, you don't. That's a 19-year-old girl, other Chloe. So don't do that in front of the internet.
Oh yeah, I'm
Ruby
reading
Rose.
about that too.
Yeah, no, that's
Yeah.
a terrible thing to do.
Yeah, Ruby Rose tweeted and said, "Yo, Chloe, I thought you were rad when I met you, but this is awful, and this is a 19-year-old girl."
I hope Ruby Rose's words will be taken heavily and seriously and put an end to all this. Because if anybody could stop any argument, I have faith in her.
Did you see what she tweeted after that?
No.
She said, "Nobody likes being bullied or made to feel worthless, yet so many people go above and beyond to make others feel that way. I just think we could do so much more if we were not so judgmental and mean to one another. I believe what love is what the world needs right now."
How can one human that is so beautiful on the outside also be so beautiful on the inside?
Is Ruby Rose the one in the one fairy tale with Snow White, the one that's her sister?
That's Rose Red.
Oh.
Is who you're thinking of.
Riley's giving me the worst look. I don't know who this person is. They seem pretty fly, but I don't
Orange
know who
is
they
the
are.
new black?
She was in last season. She was like the hot Australian girl.
I didn't
Got the
finish
tattoos?
it. I didn't.
Absolutely beautiful, and she kind of has a habit of playing with sort of gender in her identity. I think she's a pretty cool lady.
Well, I do. I like that show in the past. I'm not up to date on it.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Right.
Well, okay.
We went down the rabbit hole there.
There are more tweets from Khloe Kardashian since then, but
Oh,
I'll
it just
subject you
keeps
all
going.
to those.
Yeah, I don't think I can handle any more Khloe Kardashian
No.
tweets.
So there you go, everybody.
I'm still not clear. The Kardashians still confuse me. I think it's an age thing. I got old enough that I'm just confused by the Kardashians
Guys,
at all
I'd like
times.
to point out this episode is 7 minutes and 40 seconds in, and this is literally all we talked about.
Well, I needed you to clear this up for me. I didn't know Taylor would be so helpful on this too.
Yeah,
I-
Taylor knew more about it than I did.
I was in a dark place this morning. I went down a hole. I'm sorry.
I'm just very
I
confused.
needed something to fill the void.
I like usually, especially lately, my Twitter feed is just full of like a lot of stuff about politics and, you know, what's going on in the world events. And then all of a sudden there were like all of these tweets about Kanye and Taylor. And I thought, well, that's not my sister Taylor because it's spelled wrong.
It's spelled wrong.
I don't think the song is about me.
It must be the T-Swizzle version of Taylor.
It's
and
that other Taylor S.
It's the other Taylor S. And I know that they had a thing once before. But anyway, thank you, Riley Taylor, for clearing this up for me.
Yeah.
So should we talk about movies?
Can we talk about like real stuff now?
Yeah, real stuff. We're moving on to the real serious content.
We've talked a little bit about movies before. Well, really just movie mainly.
A movie.
Yeah.
We talked about plural movies.
Yeah, we've referenced other movies.
Yeah.
But we had an episode where I made Riley watch Mallrats.
Mm-hmm.
And mainly so I could watch Mallrats again. It's great. But there's so many movies that kind of address the teen period of life, and that you think of as like touchstones of your teenage experience. So we thought we would focus on one genre, like romances or like rom-coms, fun teen romantic movies.
Yeah. You know, the hit teen films. All about romance.
Teen films.
I don't
Teach you how to
watch.
fall in love. Not actually appropriately at all, but
No,
Yeah.
they don't. No, there's a lot of troublesome stereotypes in teen romantic movies. I don't know where this starts. I don't know if we blame. We were talking to Mom a little bit about this today, and she said that Grease came out like her junior year of high school, the movie Grease. And she said before that, there weren't like a lot of movies, like there were movies like A Love Story, which is like a romance, obviously.
I mean, I would assume based on the name.
Yeah. Like a romantic movie. But like as far as like a teenage romantic kind of movie, there weren't as many. And Grease was like the first big giant, and of course it was a musical and stuff too. But and especially setting up like this kind of storyline that like she's kind of the shy, mousy girl, and he's like the cool dude, and she wants to get his attention, but at the same time he's gotta be cool, so he ends up doing something jerky and like loses her, and then he learns his lesson, and they live happily ever after.
Yeah, but I think
She's
the lesson
one
in that
he wants.
yeah, if you change yourself, someone will love you.
The best,
and then you get to sing a song and get in a flying car.
which is, I mean, like if we could teach teenagers a better lesson, I just don't know what it is.
Leather pants solve all problems.
They do both change. I don't know that makes it better, but like he wears a Letterman sweater and she wears tight leather pants.
I feel like he gets the better end of the deal though, because that Letterman sweater has to be way more comfortable than that leather suit.
And those tight leather pants, they don't look comfy.
No.
And those shoes.
No. And the shirt. All of it.
No.
And that line, that "tell me about it, stud," that doesn't work in actual life. You can never drop that one and pull it off. I've found out.
Have you tried?
Whoa, please tell me when in life you've looked at a guy and said, "Tell me about it, stud." And
Like when she says it, it is the epitome of, "Oh, she's so cool." Oh no, but that is not applicable to the real world.
I've never tried to call Justin stud and see how he would react.
Give it a go.
I'm gonna go brush my teeth now, stud.
Well, I feel like anytime you say it now, everyone just thinks you're referring to Grease for some odd reason. They're like, okay, I guess this girl really into Grease.
Nobody calls each other stud anymore.
Yeah.
I'll bring that one back.
Taylor,
retire boo. Let's bring back stud.
you lead that revolution, okay? Let me know how it's going, and I'll jump on board when it's going well.
I just tried it on my cat just now, and he was super into it.
But I feel like that kind of set up this formula that we see again and again of the general idea being like one person is cool and one person is not cool, and they fall in love anyway, despite all boundaries of social class. They fall in love, and then the cool person inevitably, hurts the uncool person, and then has to make some grand gesture to like reunite them, and then it's always insinuated that, and they live happily ever after from the age of 16 on.
It's super rare, and I'm trying to recount the movies. The cool person is the girl. I know Grease too. That's one.
Can't Buy Me Love.
Can't Buy Me Love is a good example. Yeah. And can I just say, by the way, since we mentioned Grease 2, and it's one of my favorite movies.
No. I'm sorry.
No, Taylor, why would you do this?
Open the door.
I just want to say that if you haven't seen Grease 2, you're really missing out, and you need to go see Grease 2.
Are you serious?
I love Grease 2.
What?
You know this.
I thought you, sarcastically, ironically loved Grease 2. I thought you really hated it.
No, I love Grease 2. All I want in the world is for there to be a staged musical version of Grease 2 that I can put on, and I would prefer to be in, but I would settle for directing it for local youths so that I could just be a part of it.
I would boycott that production.
I mean, well, reach for your dreams, then draft that up, put it out there.
Grease 2 is the worst movie of all time.
Okay, we're watching it later.
No, I've seen it. It's
you did
awful.
that to yourself.
It's like Mean Girls 2.
Cool
Mean Girls 2 and Grease 2, they both suck.
Do it for our country. The red, white, and the blue. Nothing?
I have to leave. I can't. I hate that movie so much.
Oh, you're crazy. Anyway, I probably Can't Buy Me Love is a better example.
Yeah, Can't Buy Me Love is a much better example.
Where she's the cool girl and he's not cool because he's the kind of nerdy guy who mows lawns. You know that guy, that stereotypical character, the nerdy guy who mows lawns. Right? In all the movies.
Right, right.
And then she
Involving-
rides off on his lawnmower with him at the end.
When someone told me about that before I actually watched Can't Buy Me Love, I thought they were being funny and that was just like a joke about the movie about him mowing lawns. But no, that's real.
Yeah.
They ride
Yeah.
off on their lawnmower together.
They do.
Do you think like 2 seconds after the credits rolled, she jumped off of that lawnmower? Was like, nah, what am I doing? We are on a riding lawnmower. No, absolutely
I have a car.
not.
I have
better
a car
standard.
right there.
Do you know how
I do
long?
expect more for myself.
Do you know how long it's going to take us to ride off into the sunset on this thing? They don't go very fast.
Well, it's like at the end of the Grease. Do they think about that they're in the air in a car?
No, I don't think they think about that. I don't think they're like, well, this is wacky. Where can we go from here?
I'd love to hear the story of how that happened, by the way. It was like, and then they'll drive off together, and somebody was like, and the car flies. And everybody went, yes.
Instead of everyone going, what? No.
No, the car doesn't fly. What?
This isn't a fantasy movie. This is supposed to be real deal. Teen life.
It was the same moment at the end of Can't Buy Me Love. They're like, and then they ride off together on the lawnmower. And instead of like everybody going, no. I don't know. Was it peer pressure? Everybody kind of looked around and was like, who's going to call him on it first? No, nobody. Yeah. Great idea.
And then everyone was like, yeah.
We love the lawnmower thing. He's a lawnmower kid. It's a whole thing.
A lawnmower boy.
I mean, it's symbolic. She's accepted him and his lawn mowing status. I'm grasping at straws.
But he's still, you know what's funny though, is that even though like she's the cool one, he's the nerd, she, lets him pretend to be, like she acknowledges him as cool, which makes him cool, right? Like
Right.
as soon as a cool person
But then he
acknowledges
is a
that you
jerk
are
to
cool,
her.
but then he's still the jerk to her.
Yeah.
It still goes that way.
That's true.
He still ends up being a jerk, and then he has to like become a better person, like a balance between his old nerdy self and his new cool self.
See, I think that these all just kind of are instilling the same lesson in young men and women. It's the guy's gonna be a jerk and disappoint you. Like that's just, and then you're gonna hopefully learn something about each other. But that's the formula you should get used to in your life.
Well, and also, I mean, and this continues because then we go into like, okay, Pretty in Pink. Why is Molly Ringwald into that guy?
Oh, I know.
I know he's cool, but he's kind of a tool, right?
He's a total tool.
Oh, you've never seen?
He's
Pretty in
like
Pink?
the evil jock you get in the 90s, but like taken for serious as the romantic lead.
He was that character in the 80s, like the mean guy in an 80s movie who's like, he's rich, he's wearing a polo shirt, he usually has his collar popped, he's got like his hair like blown out, he's got like a really nice blowout in his hair. He drives a really nice car, he always has like a sweater over his shoulders, he probably golfs or plays tennis, and like he's the bad guy, and that's who she ends up with. Because he's like the good bad guy, the least of the bad guys.
I think Molly Ringwald kind of always went for the wrong dude. I mean, I'm sorry, I'm Team Ducky for life.
I'm with you. Well, aren't we all Team Ducky?
I've never seen this movie.
How?
Okay, Riley. We're going to have to help you. You've seen 16 Candles, though.
Yeah. Do you think the lawnmower was a metaphor?
For what? You're still stuck on the lawnmower. What do you think the lawnmower was a metaphor for?
Her acceptance of his personality.
Yes.
Like the lawnmower is
That's
a
what I think that-
representation of him. And that's his thing. And instead of him having to change himself for her, it's her being like, this is your thing, and I'm okay with it. Instead of them being like, let's go get in my car and ride off into the sunset. Like, that's making you, I guess, get in like a car. And you really want to be on a riding lawnmower.
I don't think his his chosen mode of transportation was a riding lawnmower.
You never know.
Like, I just think he mowed lawns, like, for money.
But 16 Candles.
That's like a pretty intense hipster move, though. I'm riding lawnmower. That's what I drive.
So that's going to be the next thing. We're going to be showing up to school in a riding lawnmower.
It has a mounted viola on the back of it. Why not?
But it's 16 Candles. Again, like, I guess he's not the guy that she goes for, the guy she ends up with. He's the cool dude. he's not. He doesn't seem like a jerk. He's just kind of a nothing. He's just cool.
Yeah.
Like that's all he is. He is walking cool in man-shaped form. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like he drives a cool car. He's got a cool shirt. He has cool hair. Mm-hmm. He looks at you with those piercing eyes. I don't know. What is he like? What's his thing? What's he into?
I think he's just the really, really good looking one.
That's it?
Yeah. He excels at being really, really good looking. He definitely does sport. There's clearly some sport that he does.
He does sport. But there's nothing, you know what I mean? Like it's he's just cool and she's into him because he's hot and cool. And at the end he's like, I don't really know exactly who you are, but you seem okay.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday. You want to make out? Like,
well, and if you think about what set the whole relationship off, she drops the note that basically says she wants to sleep with him. So he sees it and is like, oh, now I'm into you because you said you wanted to sleep with this dude.
Yeah, like what kind of dude wouldn't see that or person see that and be like, that's weird. I don't even know this girl's name and she's writing a note for health class saying that she wants to sleep with me. And I don't even know who she is.
Yeah, I mean, I think
that's a little creepy.
That's fairly normal teen creepy territory.
But then, like, he asked one of his cool dude friends, I guess, that's like, hey, you know anything about this girl? No. She seems pretty cool. That's it. That's what he knows about her.
Yeah. I like that what he likes about her is, I like how she looks at me like she loves me. She's always like, staring at me. It's so hot.
And then I see her and like this, like all the time she's like standing in front of a church and her family left her there and she's like in her bridesmaid dress and, you know, holding a bouquet. Mm. That's what I know about her. I think it's her birthday or something.
I was rooting for the other guy, the
Anthony Michael Hall.
Yes,
the nerd.
I couldn't think of his name. Yes.
You know, in any other situation, I would probably always default to the nerd, but he is a creeper in that movie. Like,
yeah,
it is being completely inappropriate with her physical boundaries. I guess
there.
He is inappropriate. That is true.
That's true.
Yeah, there's the whole underwear thing.
Yeah. Like, he's not the lovable nerd that gets pushed to the side. He's like the creepy, somebody should have probably acted on that at an adult level.
Where are the adults? Where are the adults? But this was in the time of teen movies where like half of the teenagers look like they're in their 30s anyway. And so
that's true.
How old are you? Are you the teacher or whose mom are you? No, you're the student. Got it. Okay, got it.
What was the love interest's name in that movie? He's one of those dudes that has like, you know, it's trouble when he's got like two first names as his whole name.
Jake.
It's like Jake Ryan.
Jake Ryan.
Yeah.
Jake Ryan.
Isn't that his name?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I agree because I never understood that. You don't see like the romance it's not built upon. I need more development of my romance other than just like I like him and then oh great he's gonna give me a shot.
Yeah, Jake Ryan. I think it's funny how like if you look up the cast, it's like Samantha Baker, Jake Ryan, and then Anthony Michael Hall is the geek.
Yep.
Like, does he not have a name?
No. I mean, I'm sure he did. But these were teen movies. You don't need names. You just need archetypes.
Yeah.
So I
like my movies with a magical element with the romance. So
such as
like Teen Witch.
Oh man, that like rap sequence.
Yeah, the rap sequence in Teen Witch is the best thing.
That is the best thing.
I'm gonna show that to you later.
I've never seen it.
Top that.
I mean, she's like a witch. Like she becomes like a witch. She gets witchy powers, and so she gets to like cast love spells.
It's in the name.
Yeah.
That's
or like Love Potion #9, where the kid drinks the love potion, and then all the girls like him.
Is it number 9?
Yeah. Like the song.
What's that movie where like the two girls are little, or is it one girl? And like she puts her dream guy into like she says it out loud. She mixes up this whole thing. Like this
Are you talking
potion.
about
practical magic?
Practical magic. That's what it
not
is.
exactly a teen romantic comedy.
Oh no, I know, but I was just trying to think of it because it's like that's magical.
I do
it's
love
in the
that
name.
movie.
That is a great movie.
And the guy has like a color. His two eyes are different colors, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That movie also gave us the concept of midnight margaritas. That is just, that's such a like a just a beautiful, beautiful idea.
That is, and that has become part of our family tradition.
Midnight margaritas.
I don't have that.
Not
I'm a
yet.
child.
Not yet.
Wait till you're 16.
When you were little, you did have this. Do you remember this, Taylor? Riley had this little dollhouse, and she had little plastic figures of all of us. She had a mom and a dad, and she had a baby with her sisters, her two sisters, and it had like a whole kitchen set, including a little blender. And the mom and the sisters were in the kitchen, and I asked you, "What are they doing?" And you said, "Making margaritas."
Nice.
It's accurate.
Moving on into like when we were younger, because a lot of these movies predate us.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we've seen them, of course. They're part of when I think of like my teenage years. I think a lot of us went through that. Like, well, now it is the time of my life where I watch Grease. Now is the moment where, you know, all the John Hughes films become part of my reality. But when I think about the kind of movies we watched, I mean, I guess Can't Hardly Wait was a big one for me.
Yeah.
That was a big, and which I guess that flipped she's the cool one in that.
She is the cool one. And she also is, I would say, the one who's a jerk to him.
Yeah.
It kind of does the thing that hurts him.
Mm-hmm.
I like that movie a lot. It's very problematic, a lot of the character.
Yeah.
Again, still not really getting over the like just sort of awful stereotype cast.
No.
And I don't know if that one, maybe they're playing it for use, like they're mimicking that on purpose, but
I think part of it is that. I think part of it is the joke that like this is what teens are like, right?
yeah.
Yuck.
Some really good cameos in that movie, though. I just rewatched it recently, and I'd have to say I only know her as Tara. It's Tara from Buffy. I know she has a real name in the real world, but there's a scene where they just...
Amber Benson?
That sounds right. They like pan through a kitchen, and she's just there, just studying a banana. And that's the only thing you see her do the whole movie.
Isn't she under the influence of some sort of substance?
I think the implication is that she's on drugs. Now the party that's happening, that like I spent half the movie just watching the party happen around the characters, because it's just so like, and this is the thing in movies in general, when you just have to have like, oh, look like you're just at a wacky party. The stuff that people are actually doing just doesn't make sense. Like just some guy like randomly dancing with the pillow, some girl who just like has a turtle and is like doing a little jig. Like I don't. It's just like party things, party moves.
Do some party things. Go.
It's like if I everything I learned about parties I just took from teen movies. I would just stand in the corner doing one repetitive motion and like smiling. Like, this is how we party.
You know what sucks though is that you see that in movies when you're a teenager, like that's what parties look like, and they don't, because you go to parties and nobody's just randomly like standing there smiling and dancing.
Nobody's dancing.
There aren't all these crowds of people involved in like party games or like group dance circles, or
no one's doing like handsprings on the front lawn, because that happens in that movie. There's like a pan away and someone's just doing it. I was like, what is going on?
There's not like one cool guy who's like doing the worm in the middle of the living room. Like that's never happening.
Wait, maybe that's not happening because you need to be that one cool guy doing the worm. Have you ever tried? Have you ever gone there? Maybe that's what makes the party happen around you.
I feel like this would be even better because I can't do the worm, so I can just imagine myself like hopping up in front of everyone, kind of like laying on the ground and flopping up and down.
Is she having a seizure? Party's over.
Call 911. Quick.
You know that I do love once again, don't know her real name, Dharma, the stripper angel in that movie. Like bringing like the hard truth about you know, fate and like and going after the things you want.
Which I would say this, like our lead character in that one, Preston is a better for guys, is a better guy character, because he's, you know, he's sort of nerdy, but like he's smart, he's thoughtful, he's sensitive.
He's in touch with his emotions.
Yeah. I mean, he's not like I don't know, maybe he's the better, like he's a truer nerd. This is a real nerd. Like we're people, okay? We're people. We don't just do math all the time. We're people too.
We mow lawns.
You do have the other type of nerd there, though. The character whose whole subplot is to like get revenge on the cool jock dude. Which also, once again, troublesome life lessons. In his storyline, if you get drunk, you'll be cool.
Yeah, it is a troublesome life lesson.
That's what happens, and then he has a night of his life because he tried alcohol.
That's not true, Riley.
I've never seen that movie.
Oh.
What movie is this?
Can't hardly wait.
Yeah, I've never seen this movie.
Excellent soundtrack. I think that when the cops come in and Blink 182's that This Is Growing Up, I can't say the actual name of the song, comes on, like that is like a iconic, I think, teen movie scene. You've got Blink 182 and a crowd of kids running from the cops. Yeah.
No, the kids running from the cops at the party scene. You wait your whole teen life for that to happen to you.
Never happened.
Happened to me.
Yeah. It happened to Riley. It was not fun.
I didn't run, though.
No,
there was no Blink 182 playing.
There were
That's
kids.
too bad.
Kids thought they were living that out at your party, though. They were running.
Yeah.
They fell down a hill.
Yep.
I mean, they're okay. It's funny because it's okay. Like, everybody was fine. If somebody had, been injured, it wouldn't be funny.
It's true, but everyone was okay.
Now, some of the other, like, teen romances, I feel like from our era, I'm going to just go ahead and admit I didn't actually see. Because when we think about this, I think that it'd be crazy not to mention, like, She's All That and 10 Things I Hate About You.
I've never seen either of those.
Oh, I loved both of those movies.
I never saw them.
Well, and I mean, it's funny because both of those movies kind of not a similar pattern, but definitely like similar female romantic leads.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, and I guess in the past you had like the mousy shy girl has now evolved into like the rebellious girl that wears glasses. Like
The rebellious girl that wears glasses.
Because wearing glasses are the ultimate sign to society that I don't care if I'm beautiful for some reason.
That's true. That really is. Like, I don't feel the need to wear contacts.
No, that is telling the world I give up on myself. Not actually, but in this movie logic.
Yeah, in teen movie logic, it is. Like, she's just, the kind of girl, who wears glasses.
Yeah.
One of those girls. That's usually the friend. Like, you usually become the friend.
Yeah.
If you're the kind of girl who wears glasses. But I never, I guess Clueless was sort of a romantic comedy in a sense.
Is.
There's a romance to it.
With her stepbrother.
With her stepbrother.
I mean,
It's a very different romance. But
Doesn't she
again,
try to date someone else, though?
yeah. Christian.
Yeah.
Who turns out to be gay.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Never mind. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, and
It's been a
then
while since I've seen it.
and then she dates her stepbrother.
But I mean, if your stepbrother was Paul Rudd, who cares? You go for that.
Whoa.
Hey, and like in that movie, once again, like he's like a cool college dude who like reads books and wears flannel, like.
Except a lot of the time you see him kind of laying around the house like eating Cheetos.
And
right?
he eats Cheetos. This is what's not to love.
He's evolved past the need to be cool. That's what makes him so cool.
I guess that's true.
He's post-cool.
Well, that's just called hipster.
Oh, he's a hipster. He's the first hipster.
That's a proto-hipster there.
Paul Rudd in Clueless was the first hipster. That's what we've decided.
Oh, we can take hipster back
no,
further.
come on.
Ducky.
Yeah.
No, hipsters have been around. Hipsters think they're new. They're not.
No, one of my friends actually dressed up as Ducky for Halloween, and you couldn't tell. It's a guy here in Brooklyn, like, what? Hey, you should have worn a costume. No? Okay. I'm Ducky.
That's all hipsters. They're just Ducky.
We are all cosplaying as Ducky all the time.
Did you just admit you're a hipster?
You said we.
No.
You just admitted it.
You said we.
No, I can see that negates it. Because if I accepted that I was one, I would be definitely not one. That's the rule.
I still don't know who are hipsters because everyone denies it. Except for Ducky.
Does that mean no one is? Or does it mean everyone is?
I'm not. I'm pretty sure.
No. I'm not either.
I don't think I'm cool enough to. I wear skinny jeans. Does that count?
No.
I mean, you have extensive craft beer knowledge.
That's true. I do.
You read comic books. Now, I will say
Do
the line
you?
between things that make you a nerd and things that make you a hipster, I don't really understand.
I
No,
feel like
it's
if
all-
you're a nerd in the stereotypical sense, but then you dress like a hipster, then you're a hipster, right? Right.
I don't know.
Instead of dressing like a
We're-
stereotypical nerd.
We're
I
gonna
don't
have to
know.
do a
This
whole
is-
episode on the rules for hipster.
This is too much.
What is a hipster? Let's define it once and for all. Except that, guys, labels are for jars. And you know what? You know what I'm not?
A
You're not
jar.
a jar.
I'm not a jar.
I need that shirt.
Now moving forward, Riley, what are the teen romantic movies now?
I don't really watch romantic comedies or movies of today. I watch a lot of old ones, like the ones you all were talking about, and some others. But I guess if we're talking about popular ones that I have seen, I guess like the Hunger Games series has a romantic storyline, right?
I would not call that a rom-com.
I know, but
Yeah,
like,
no, neither would I.
but like I know it's not a rom-com, but it has a love triangle. So does Twilight,
Yeah.
Divergent,
Uh-huh.
The Fifth Wave.
Okay, so all of the romances now, instead of being set in like wacky high school parties, are set in a
Like, end of the world.
dystopian future.
I guess.
What does that say about your generation?
I don't know.
I think that logo you drew for the Still Buffering Book Club says it all. I'm just reading a book that says abs at the end of the world.
All right, yeah.
And also, all the movies are books. Like, they all start out as books. Like, all the ones I just named were books first.
There's got to be some movies.
Perks of Being a Wallflower was a book first.
Yeah.
My favorite book series, The Infernal Devices, is now a TV series, but it was supposed to be a movie, but then the movie was real bad. So they turned it into a TV series. Everything just started out as a book that no one's read.
There've got to be some movies, teen movies that aren't books.
The Duff, I guess.
Now tell me about this. What is this film?
The Duff stands for the Designated Ugly Fat Friend.
That's mean.
I know.
Yeah.
That's really mean.
But like, I'm not going to defend this term, but when they use it in the movie, one of the cool dudes, of course, that the unpopular girl ends up with, explains it as it's all like relative. Like, just because you're the Duff doesn't mean you're ugly or fat. It just means that compared to your friends, you are less attractive physically, I guess.
I don't think that makes it better.
It doesn't.
No.
It doesn't.
No.
It doesn't at all.
And this is, wait, so this girl is called this, and then does she end up with a guy who referred to her as this?
Yes.
Oh.
Yes.
Oh.
She tries to it's it's Mae Whitman. You know who that is,
No.
right? Yes. Taylor knows who I'm talking about. Right?
The actress?
Yeah.
I think I do.
She was in Parenthood, with not the TV series.
I know the
It's like the
movie
short
Parenthood
hair,
with like Steve Martin.
She was in an episode of Friends when she was like a baby. Like a little
obviously.
girl.
Of course. Which baby is she?
I don't know if I have that touch point of that one episode of Friends where she's a baby.
She was in some sort of, I think she was in a scary movie when she was a little girl.
I don't know who this is, but I don't.
You ever
like
see the
this.
episode of Friends where Ross breaks a little girl's leg and has to sell a bunch of Girl Scout cookies?
Yep.
That little girl.
Okay. Oh, I could tell she was a star.
Okay, anyways. She's in it, and she is best friends with these two girls who I guess are supposed to be a lot more attractive than she is. And they're all three popular, but the other two are more popular. Like, the other two are always like referred to together, and it's really weird. The opening scene, like, they show these three girls in the hallway together, and like teachers and principals are talking to the other two girls by name. They're like, "Hey, so and so." I don't remember what their characters' names were. And then the other one, or Mae Whitman, is just like walking along beside them, and these teachers and principals just kind of look at her like, "Hey."
So she's not even popular with the faculty?
No.
Even the faculty couldn't stand her.
So, like, basically, she's been lifelong best friends with a super cool dude who she doesn't like, and she likes this other guy who, like, plays guitar and has long hair and, like, you know what I'm talking about, like the cool dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then she
The
tries,
rebel.
she goes on a date with him, but then he thinks that her two pretty friends are coming too.
Oh.
And he just wants to talk to her to get closer to her two pretty friends. Then she ends up falling in love with the other guy who she's been lifelong best friends with.
Who calls her the Duff?
Who calls her the Duff.
See, that's
It's the whole thing.
I have
I'm like, there's a super popular girl who's like wants the cool dude.
Do you feel like that? I mean, because when you talk about the plot of this movie, do you feel like there's been any progress made in these boxes? I mean, and when we talk about like the boxes that we fit characters into, I think you can like reference The Breakfast Club as very clearly not because it was so stereotypical, but because it like lays it out in the plot of the movie.
Yeah, they literally call
the jock and the princess and the freak and I mean like the nerd, and I mean like, do you think we've moved past those boxes, or is it still more comfortable for a teen movie telling perspective, like, let's just tell the same stories over and over again, only we'll use texting now and Snapchat?
I think maybe I was trying to think about this movie because I have not seen a lot of other ones that are not like end of the world type movies, and and this one she kind of like,
Riley's really obsessed with the end times.
All teens today are.
All teens.
Snapchat and the end of the world. That's it.
In this movie, she kind of like, when that guy calls her that, she's like, well, if that's what people think of me anyways, then I don't really care if that's what they think of me, so I'm gonna dress however I want, and I'm gonna like stop trying to make people think I'm like anything different. I guess. It's like she goes to school wearing like pajamas, like, you know, gets rid of her two friends that are pretty, I guess, in quotes, that are the attractive girls. She gets rid of them and stops being their friend, even though it's not their fault that everyone thinks that she is not pretty compared to them, because they're like, and it's really cool because these two girls, I don't know, but like at least the two girls that are supposed to be her friends that are also pretty aren't like, you know, stereotypical pretty girls. Like one of them is really good at coding, and one of them wants to like, you know what I mean, coding, like
sure.
the online stuff.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
And she like uses her coding skills later in the movie to like hack a website, I think.
So what they've tried to do,
they're both really smart,
is take the same plot lines, same storylines, and just give the girls hobbies that are less stereotypical.
I guess. I don't know.
Is
Now
there
I
a
just feel
designated?
attacked.
No, I'm not attacking you. I want to know about the movie.
Yeah.
Is there a makeover sequence in it?
Makeover?
Like, does the girl ever get like, you know, hotted up like you do? No. Okay. Well,
that's progress.
I guess
We'll take what we can get here.
Sure. Good.
The guy who, this is so stereotypical, the guy who's really popular, she's been best friends with for a long time, and she ends up with, she goes to him because he's failing a class, of course.
Obviously.
And she's really smart.
Mm-hmm.
So she goes to him and is like, listen, I heard you were failing biology. I'll give you my biology notes and I'll tutor you and make sure you pass this final test if you help me not be the duff. So he like takes her shopping for clothes.
That's a makeover.
But
That's a makeover.
But like, she doesn't end up like doing any of that. She just ends up seeing a dress that like she really likes, like not like that she thinks is like popular, gonna make her any less of a duff. She really likes it, but she doesn't feel confident enough to wear it. It's like he buys it for her and she wears it on her date with that other dude.
Okay.
And then like at the end of the movie it's prom, of course. And instead of wearing
every movie, it's prom.
Instead of wearing like a dress, like she makes up with her two friends. Instead of wearing a dress that like her two friends are wearing, like a you know, big sparkly dress, she takes her handy flannel, like the flannel she wears throughout the whole movie, and one of her friends, I guess flannel. That's what she calls it, her handy flannel. And I guess one of her friends is really good at like sewing and stuff and making clothes. So she turns her flannel into a dress.
Sure.
So then she goes to prom wearing like
Symbolism.
this like whole flannel kind of punk black and red dress,
Very avant-garde.
instead of like what everyone else is wearing, and everyone really likes her dress.
Yeah, flannel couture.
Yeah. So yeah. And then she ends up with the guy at prom.
Of course. At prom. And then they live happily ever after.
Yeah. And they're also neighbors, of course, so you know.
You know, I mean, as much as it kind of sucks that these stereotypes are the only thing we seem to throw up there for teenagers, in some weird way, I think it makes sense only in as much as we kind of do label ourselves as teens. We decide what we are, or we, you know, I'm a nerd, I'm a jock, I'm one of the pretty girls. Like, and you take those archetypes from The Breakfast Club and you just reshuffle two of them to like, now it's a romantic comedy between the princess and the rebel. Now it's one between, the freak and the jock. And that's pretty much just reshuffle those and, you have a movie to appeal to somebody out there.
I mean, that really is true. I think that there is a need when you're a teenager and you're trying to figure out, and we've talked about this before, what you like and what you don't like and what you're going to be like to define yourself, which is why all those, like we've talked about that too, all those quizzes online I think are always so popular. Everybody wants to know what Harry Potter house they're in because it helps, like, giving yourself boundaries also helps you reach further. You know what I mean?
If you're talking about these quote unquote cool teens that are trying to figure out who they are, I doubt they're taking a Harry Potter quiz to figure out what house they're in.
How would you line up teenage archetypes to the Harry Potter houses?
Okay,
maybe they're trying to figure out.
No,
oh God,
that we can do this. Okay,
Slytherin is clearly the evil jock,
is Slytherin the evil jock,
or is it the mean girl?
Gryffindor are the jocks, right?
Gryffindor are the jocks,
Right, like the brave ones.
Ravenclaw's the nerd.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah, we know
Ravenclaw's
that.
the nerd. We know that.
And
Who's Hufflepuff then?
you know what I think would be a better way to compare
too
these
difficult.
these archetypes to.
What?
You know what I'm gonna say.
No,
Friends characters.
No, we're back to Friends.
How did that happen?
Okay,
How
so
does that keep happening?
is Ross the nerd?
Ross is the nerd
Uh-huh.
because he's in dinosaurs.
Right. Rachel's the princess.
Rachel's the princess. Joey's the jock, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Phoebe's the freak.
Yeah.
What's the other one? The rebel.
The rebel. Well, that's
No,
not
no.
Monica. It doesn't work. It falls apart.
Dang it!
We're gonna have to keep working on this. This doesn't
We
fit.
can make this fit and then have a bunch of teenage friends fan fiction spawned off of it, right?
Divergent factions.
I love how-
divergent factions.
I love though what it all reveals about our psyche, that we're like, who's evil Slytherin? Is it the jock or the princess? Or like I was gonna say the rebel, right? Nope.
No, the rebel would be Slytherin. The jock would be Gryffindor because Gryffindors are all like, confident and like boastful and brave. That's a jock. Like they're all kind of like,
I would
I'm
actually
a
agree with that.
Gryffindor. Yeah.
Okay.
And Hufflepuffs, I guess, are
I don't know. They're not the,
The
freaks. They're not the freaks. They're too nice and loyal.
the nerd. No,
Mm.
the Ravenclaws are the nerds.
Yeah, this doesn't work. We'll have to keep spending a lot of
I did
time
the-
working on this later.
Are they the Duffs?
I would I hate to interrupt this great conversation we're having, but all three of us just got a text from Mom that says, "Help, I'm out of Pokeballs. What do I do?" I just thought I'd share that with everyone.
This is Riley. This is your territory. Well, no, Taylor, you do this. I don't know.
Just gotta go to Pokestops and get some Pokeballs, or you can buy them like with actual money through your iTunes account,
Yeah.
which
Don't tell Mom you can do that.
yeah, that's a
Don't
slippery
tell her.
slope.
She says she says she has a Diglett in front of her. That's got to be a typo.
It is a
that
Diglett,
is.
but she
she
just
keeps
spelled
calling it
wrong.
a Diglet.
It's a Diglett, but she spelled it
She
wrong.
has a Diglett and she can't get it. I have one more complaint before we completely get off track here with movies. We've talked about that they tend to stereotype like different like teenage archetypes. So you're the nerd or you're the jock or whatever. And then because of that, there are all these qualities that we just assume about you. And sometimes that's at the expense of any real character development. Some of these people we've talked about, that's it. They're the cool one. And they don't get anything else really said about them. They're the nerd one. And that's all you really... And you're supposed to just fill in all the blanks about a whole human being based on that. I think we've seen the same with gender. This is the girl. So this is how the girl acts. And this is what the girl wants. This is the boy. And so the boy is going to obviously do this thing, which is very frustrating. And it seems like we've come a little further in some of those roles, but we're still locked into, stereotypes that are how old at this point? 100 years old, really? That
Right.
we're far past. Mm-hmm. When are we going to see a teen romantic movie, a big teen blockbuster romance movie like all these ones we've talked about that is not a straight couple? When is that day coming? Can you name one? Where like it's a big romance and the drama all happens between characters who do not identify as straight. When is that day coming?
Sydney, you know, we always talk about these things that why aren't they a thing yet? Why aren't we writing this movie? We came up with Bradbury Squish and Blasters. We came up with a teddy chair. Why aren't we coming up with this movie?
Really, somebody needs to, because we see it. I mean, TV is doing it. TV is there. Like, when I think about, back from our day, Buffy.
Right.
Which it was just like matter of fact. You know, this is one of our main characters, Willow. This is her girlfriend, Tara. This is a fact. And this is, you know, and they have a wonderful romance, and there's this whole arc to it, and it's beautiful and tragic and wonderful. And it's on TV. I think Glee did a good job with, you know, romances between characters.
Yeah.
You know, gay characters and straight characters, and that was awesome. Where is that in a big movie?
Have there been any, Riley, that you can think of?
Not that I can think of.
Where that's like the main love story.
I'm
you know?
sure there is one that exists that we don't know about. Maybe not a super popular movie, but I'm sure there is one that exists that people have seen. Probably someone listening right now has seen that we don't know about. But it's not popular.
Mm-hmm.
Like these big movies that everyone knows about. It's not one of those. You know?
Yeah.
Maybe that says something.
Because I think that's hugely missing. I think that there's so many, as a woman, there's so many stereotypes that I see in these teen movies, and I think like, oh, come on, we're past that.
Yeah.
Can we please move past that? You know, the idea that I'm going to feel better about myself once I'm wearing the right lip gloss, and some other girl tells me which skirt I'm supposed to wear to school. Like then I like miraculously I'm like, oh, I'm better. They fixed me.
Which, like, have you realized that problem with Clueless?
Yeah.
I love Clueless. That is problematic.
That they fix Brittany Murphy's character.
Mm-hmm.
That they quote, and when I say fix, I mean quote unquote fix her to be like everybody. Well, I mean, I think about a movie, an old movie. I don't know if you ever saw this one, Taylor, called She's Out of Control.
Oh, I remember that.
It's about Tony Danza's teenage daughter who like grows up, and she's going on dates and he can't handle it. And there's a scene where she has a makeover. There's always the makeover scene.
Right.
Where the not hot girl becomes the hot girl. And she comes down the stairs after her makeover, and she's wearing this like denim and white like eyelet outfit, you know, like lacy eyelet outfit and denim and like these high socks, and her hair is in this giant 80s poof. And I remember looking at her, and like they took her braces off early and got her contacts, of course, and so that she could be a beautiful girl now. And I just remember, like, as a teenager, looking at that and thinking, like, oh, I want to look like that. When does that happen to me? When is my makeover scene? When am I going to wear the denim and the white eyelet? How do I get my hair that big? I want to look that way. And I remember thinking, like, I bet when that happens, it all fits, like, it all comes together for you. I bet at that moment, you walk into school and everybody's just like, you did it.
Everyone claps.
Yeah, well, clapping. You did it. You're done. But that's not true. Obviously, that's not how life works, and it doesn't. That's such a, you know, how you look is such a teeny little part of your whole you and your worth and your value and everything. And I don't know. I feel like we could move beyond that.
Well, I think that, you know, it's true. It's definitely true with horror movies. There's a lot of indoctrination that comes with these movies. They're telling you things to do. They're giving you suggestions about how society is. And I think that the idea, like, oh, it's when the girl, you know, refocuses herself to be an object of beauty. That's when you get what you want. And it's a creepy subtext, but it's definitely one that's also true in the real world and not just in media. And until we stop telling stories where a makeover has to happen before she can get the boy she wants, then, you know, we're going to have that idea floating around out there, getting into, you know, young teen heads.
And that's very true. And by that same token, just like we were talking about, if we really want to live the message that, you know, we embrace everybody for who they are and what they are and who they love, which we should. If we really want to live that message, why aren't we seeing that represented in movies for teenagers that, you know, that you don't have to fit into this box, that this heteronormative box that says you're either the cool guy or the nerdy girl who becomes the cool girl, and that's it. That needs to be out there, because if Hollywood is not aware, everybody's I'm letting you know.
I think they know.
We're ready for it. I would say, Riley, you're ready for it, right?
I'm ready.
we're ready.
I'm ready.
We're ready for that big blockbuster romance that is not a straight couple. Because then what that says to teenagers is that you're fine.
Well, yeah, it's
You're cool
about
just
representation.
how you are. This is
Right.
not this is not the mold you have to fit. You can be anything. You can love everybody, anybody, whatever you want to do is fine. And we need that.
Yeah.
It's
I
time.
agree.
And you know what else? Maybe at the end of the movie, the people don't end up together because that never happens.
There's another great point, Tay. That's another great point. And maybe, past that, why can't we just have people who are strong and on their own?
Yeah.
Other than Elsa.
Frozen.
Thank you, Frozen, for being
One
the first-
example
You know
of a
what?
female ending up
You know
alone
what?
at the end of a movie.
There is a gay couple in Frozen.
There is.
She ends up by herself.
And there is a. I mean, they're barely represented. They're present. I don't know that we really get to celebrate their relationship or get to know much
But
about.
still, Frozen is the most advanced movie.
The most progressive.
The most progressive movie of
Yep.
my generation.
You also have a very positive portrayal of trolls, which I think is there's
This
not
is
enough
true.
of that out there.
It's about darn time, really.
Yeah.
For trolls.
Yeah.
They've come a long way since those awful stereotypical depictions of them as troll dolls with the hair that sticks straight
Right.
up.
Those
Right.
are awful. Yeah, I agree.
So,
Well, you got that one then.
Frozen.
well, hopefully as we move forward and especially Riley, as your generation grows up and starts making the movies, we see those depictions on TV because it
I'll
is
make the
important.
movie.
That kind of representation, it really is important to tell people when they're in their teen years and they're still trying to figure everything out, that as they realize who they are and what you are inside, like what kind of qualities are you, what you define yourself as you realize that, if you see that represented on TV and in movies, then it makes you quicker to embrace it and acknowledge those truths about yourself, and you don't feel scared and alone and sad. Which anything we can do to make teenagers feel less scared and alone, I think, is a big step in the right direction.
I agree.
Agreed.
Well, thank you. Now we've solved that problem. Next. What's next?
Now, would Heathers qualify as a romantic comedy? Because in that one, the girl definitely doesn't end up with the dude.
I think that's a bit of a stretch because he blows up.
I'm just saying, as far as a woman claiming her independence at the end of a movie, as
That's true. She's definitely independent.
symbolism.
Sorry
Maybe?
for the Heather spoiler, everyone.
Ah, crap.
It's been so long.
That movie's been out for a real
Just
long
see
time.
the darn movie already.
Seriously.
Well, thank you, sisters. Thank you, listeners, as always, for tuning in and listening to us. We love you all so much, and you're all so supportive. If you want to join our family, then you're going to have to put a ring on it. No, if you want to join our family, we are still buffering on Facebook. Please come join our group. It's an amazing community of people. I can't say enough about all of you. You're beyond anything that we ever thought this podcast could inspire. So thank you.
Yeah.
You can tweet at us at stillbuff. We get emails. Please email us.
Yeah, we realized this weekend we don't get a lot of emails, and I think it's because we don't say our email enough.
Yes. Still buffering.
We have an email?
We do. Still buffering at MaximumFun.org. Please email us if you have any thoughts or ideas about the show, things that we could talk
tell us
about.
that we're doing a good job.
Please check out our other podcasts on our network, MaximumFun.org. We have a lot of other wonderful shows that you can check out. And as always, thank you to the Novellas for our theme song, Baby You Change Your Mind.
This has been Still Buffering, a sister's guide to teens through the ages. I am Riley Smurl.
I'm Sydney McRoy.
And I'm Taylor Smurl.
I'm a teenager.
And I was
too.
The three of you enter a cave of a big red dragon and is standing over a hoard of precious golden rubies. And he says, "What do you do, adventurers? I'm a dragon man."
I cast fire on him. It's very good.
I address the red dragon and say,
Us, we're the hosts of The Adventure Zone, a podcast about family playing Dungeons and Dragons.
Very good synergy. Commit to the bit.
I roll to charm new listeners. It is very effective, against all odds.
Everybody, we're the McRoys. We host the Adventure Zones, a podcast where we play Dungeons & Dragons together. It's a comedy podcast. We don't take the rules too seriously because there's a lot of them and we did not take the time to learn them. Maybe listen to us. We come out every other Thursday on the Maximum Fun Network. You can find us on iTunes or on MaximumFun.org. I think this promo's a critical hit.
MaximumFun.org.
Comedy and culture. Artist owned.
Listener supported.